Hi. I am recording from another view in my office. I found this cool little glass suction cup doodad that, the lighting's perfect here. So, this is another view of where I guess I could be vlogging from. Um, I can give an update over the last week. I've kind of been sick. Um, I've been struggling with insomnia and up and down periods of sleeping either at like somewhere between 2 and 4 a.m. So it's been a little rough. But what I'm really grateful for is I've had this happen to me in the past. And there's always a few things that I lean on to help me feel better whenever I'm having this like random bout of insomnia. It's kind of, I would say every 2 to 3 months this happens where suddenly I just can't fall asleep. And actually, falling asleep is one of my least favorite experiences of the day. And if I fell asleep instantly, like I think a lot of people do, which actually, during my wedding, when I realized how many people carried sleep aids with them, made me realize actually it's very common for people to have struggles falling asleep, and people just rely on like some kind of like supplement, which I think I, from that experience, learn that I need to rely on a little bit more, like magnesium or the occasional what do I use? It's actually basically magnesium that I use. Anyways, so that's one of the things that's been helping me over the last week is remembering to get more sunshine during the day. Like we have a pool area where I've been laying out and trying to get like full sun in my face around 11 a.m. to noon, and that is like extremely effective. Um, Magnesium lotion rubs on my legs, taking magnesium as a supplement, and like eating at regular times like 6 o'clock, because part of the reason I've noticed when my rhythms are so out of whack, it's like my stomach's not digesting well, and that affects like me being unable to sleep properly because I feel so gross when I'm laying down. And I was reading a little bit about how all your body's rhythms really play into one another, and creates this kind of like domino effect health wise that I can't sleep well, so then I can't eat well, and then I just can't focus because I'm just struggling to have the energy for the day, because sleep and food is where virtually all your energy comes from. So I've been a little bit out of whack, but I think a big win for me is that I'm so much nicer to myself in my head these days. I think there's a great privilege of being able to take time off because I have the time to ask myself, okay, what do I need to do to get back on track in a way that's gentle instead of this like almost forceful inner critic that's like, you should be, you should be, you should be. And I never realized how much that inner critic was uh, affecting my thoughts. But with all this time I've had and the time off, it's just been time feels generous. And in some ways it's not. There's deadlines and things happening in my life um, that are really pertinent that I need to meet. But in comparison to when I was like running an online school where the school started at 7 a.m. Pacific time, and the moment I woke up, there was something that needed to be handled or someone I needed to be on the phone on or some phone with or something like that. Compared to that, I have so much more time and space to wake up and be like, okay, what do I need right now? What does my body need to get back on track? And recognizing that sometimes that takes a few days. And that's okay. That's actually really normal. And that's good. And I'm thankful for that time, that I know both sides of the coin, that I know that there's some days where you have to wake up and chug that coffee and take that painkiller and take that presentation. But there's when the time is available and you could take it, that I can also ask myself, what do I need? And then give that to myself without judgment or pressure. So, what I've been needing in this past week is primarily just trying to get back on rhythm, get back in rhythm of my body's sleep schedule. Last night, oh, also something that's been helping me a lot is a yoga nidra YouTube video for insomnia by Ali Bootyard, I think her last name is. I can link it in the description. It's so helpful, especially from like a rhythm of falling asleep. Like part of the reason I hate falling asleep, because when I lay down, I don't usually immediately fall asleep. I probably take like 20 minutes at least to just lay there and I feel bored and I feel anxious or like thoughts are running through my head. So having this YouTube video that I listen to that's about 2 hours long, and it has different mental segments of, okay, the first mental and somatic segments where at first you're like, okay, let's take deep breaths starting with two in, two out, and then it progressively becomes 3 in, 4 out, like 4 seconds out, 3 seconds in. We start with that, and then we go into like a body scan, and then breathing with a body scan, and like affirmations that like I can fall asleep. And I think the best part of that actually for me is the fact that it's a yoga nidra, which is yoga nidra is intended to help you be in a state of like restful consciousness, whereas this is like I'm using it for sleep. So mentally, sometimes part of the stress of falling asleep is like I should fall asleep. Why aren't I falling asleep right now? You know, creating an added pressure that's unnecessary for like, why am I not falling asleep? Oh my God, I'm going to be up until 5. And then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So something that's been really helpful for me with that video, I actually paid like the $12 to buy it and put on my phone. So I will always have like complete access to it. Um, is that this yoga nidra, she even starts the video with saying, whether you end up just being a state of restful consciousness or you fall asleep, that's okay. So feeling that full surrender to, if I fall asleep in 3 hours, if I fall asleep right now, if I don't even actually fall asleep, but I know at the very least I will be in a state of rest. And I can always, if my body's not completely out of whack, I can always feel the slow tingles of my body entering a state of relaxation gradually. It just takes a long time, when I'm in this, like, when my circadian rhythms are just completely out of whack. So I've been loving that video so much. I'm trying to find like a voice recorder to put the file on, or like a MP3 player with speakers to put the file on, so I don't have to have my phone in the room. Because anytime I have my cell phone on me, it's just like game over. Like my cell phone in the bedroom while I'm in bed, it's just game over. That whole thing will keep me awake um, for way too long if I end up scrolling on it or something. So that's been really helpful. Like my life this whole last week has been trying to get sleep and trying to eat properly and trying to get my digestion back into being normal. And it, again, I've been in these states before, so it's not it happens infrequently enough for me to kind of forget a little bit, like, okay, what do I need to do? Like I don't immediately get back on track, but I think we're on like day 7 or 8 of my, like, probably actually day 10. I was looking at when it started, and it started like a week and a half ago. And finally, I think I'm getting back on track a little bit, which is good. And yeah, I think that's today's video, is just reminding myself that it's okay when these things happen. And what's more important is a feeling of being able to come back to myself, as far as being able to come back to a feeling of good health. Um, and that if the time is afforded to me to be able to take my time in getting back to good health, then I'll take it, and I won't judge myself for that. Or there's no need for a judgment around any of those things. But I am feeling like itchy and ready to do things that require more energy and that allow me. I think also I want to like come back to a world of caffeine. I realize like I don't want to be caffeine dependent, but it's such a reliable source of like clear mental energy to have like a cup of matcha every morning. I've like paid attention to the days when I feel, because like the energy's been so wonky over the last week. It's like, wow, okay, the days where I feel so clear, I can get on my to-do list, I can easily, like, I want to tackle everything on my list because I'm so there and I'm so clear. It's just like such a difference from when I get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep and I'm struggling to just like sit up straight. And that's just the reality of it. Um, but yeah, that's the week, and I'm really grateful for the days that I have tons of energy. And that's why I didn't have like a more elaborate video edited, but I think uploading something is still a big pat on the back. So that's been my week. Have you ever had issues with gut issues, sleep issues? How do you usually get back on track? How do you give yourself the space to take care of yourself, and to accept that space and that love from others and yourself when you need it. I'd love to hear about how that goes for you if you've ever been in a similar position. Bye.